of the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to.
Welcome back to another episode of BWT. I'm your host, Teddy, and I got a guest on with me today. We will be going into a conversation previewing the World Series between my Yankees and the Dodgers. Jovan, how we doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on, Teddy, and shout out to Refuse to Lose.
Of course, man. Always a pleasure when you hop on and we can talk some baseball. Before we get started today, I want to make sure that you guys are giving this video a like, sharing it, and subscribing to the network and also to this channel. The network Refuse to Lose. We've got plenty of shows that cover all types of sports. We got CTC, Call Talking College, gives you everything you need to know about college football and college basketball. We got RBO, Real Ballers Only, gives you an in-depth look in the NBA. We got Kings Talk with Joe Jordan, Sacramento Kings fan. He will actually be going live after their game finishes around like 12:30 after we finish up our live. Sacramento Kings fan, gives you everything you need to know about that team. We got In the Red Corner, boxing show with Tony, Ty, and Tomo. Strictly boxing, no exhibition, no nothing like that. One of the hottest shows on the network. And then we got Dave's Doghouse, which is a show that provides you with the highlights and the lowlights of the week in the sports world. We've got Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs, Fantasy Football Guru, right? I'm sure he's had a lot to say about my fantasy team in the Refuse to Lose League because right now I still don't have a win. I'm 0-7. Garbage. But make sure you tune into that show. And then we have the newest show on the network, Unfazed, with Joe and AJ. That is a debate show right now. They've been going back and forth with the NFL pick'ems and stuff like that. And then, of course, we have the main show, Refuse to Lose, with Joe, Tomo, and Dave. That covers everything in the sports world. They're pretty much our sports center, if you need an example of what they are like. Those are all the shows. If you're wondering how to subscribe to those shows, there's a link in the description to every one of the shows. Click it, hit the subscribe button. You won't miss another episode. It will be highly appreciated from the network. So we can continue to keep you updated in the sports world. Now that that's covered, let's get into this World Series preview because this is going to be one of the better ones, I think, in the last 5-6 years. We'll be going over the Dodgers first. The Dodgers finished 98-64 with the 1 seed in the National League. They were bounced early in the playoffs last year, and they used that as motivation. That was one thing that they kept hearing, even though with all the acquisitions that they made in the offseason with Ohtani and Yamamoto, Hernandez, Glasnow, Tommy Edman, was a midseason acquisition for them, and he was the NLCS MVP, one of the hottest hitters on that team, set a record for RBIs in one single postseason series, last series. They are 7-4 in the playoffs so far. Tommy Edman is batting 341 with a home run and 12 RBIs. Kike Hernandez is batting 303 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Mookie Betts relearned how to hit in the postseason. He's batting 295 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Otani batting 286 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. And Max Muncy is hitting 242 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs. Jovan, what is your take on the Dodgers season so far?
I mean, they're doing everything we expected them to do and more. I expected them to flop in the playoffs at some point, just like how they did last year. And they went ahead, did what they had to do, play high level games. They took care of the Padres. I think that was going to be their biggest feat. And now they're just playing exactly how they're supposed to play. They got the deepest team roster wise. If you look at it on paper, I mean they have the best of the best. So um, they're exceeding my expectations. I wasn't sure if they're going to be able to pull it off in the playoffs, but um, they're headed to the World Series, and excited to see what happens next.
Yeah, when I was going through my predictions, I had them losing in the first round to the Padres. To be honest, their what was doing it for me was their lack of pitching
Mm-hmm.
because of injuries. They've had almost everybody go down because of injuries. They even had Yamamoto go out for a couple months. Um, Glass now he hasn't pitched since like July, so
Mm-hmm.
it's tough for them. They've had like 4 games this postseason where they've basically used it as bullpen games, and I didn't think that they were going to be able to pull that off. But Dave Roberts is doing a great job managing that situation right now. And with what you said, them being one of the deepest teams, um, I mean, their lineup is deep, right? But guys that they bring off the bench, I don't think are top tier. You know what I mean? Uh,
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I mean, who do they got to come off the bench?
I mean, you got Kike Hernandez. If he's not playing, I mean, if he comes off the bench, he's the last guy I want to face in that lineup.
No, he's
Um,
definitely
what was that?
he's definitely starting.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, who do you need from the bench, anyways, with this team? They're so deep.
Yeah,
I mean, I hope to see that Freddie Freeman is healthy and he actually can contribute this series. I think that's going to be a huge thing for them too, with his ankle being the way it is. Hopefully, this time off that they both teams had gives Freddie the time that he needs to heal up and be able to do some damage and help out.
yeah, definitely want him to play because
Mhm.
when the Yankees win, I don't want any excuse of we didn't have Freddie Freeman and he was hurt. I don't want that to be an excuse from Dodgers fans or Yankee haters, right? Because that's one thing that's going to come up. But it's a part of the game, right? He's been nursing that injury for the entire playoffs. He's looked bad defensively. He can't show off his range that he's always showed off with his Gold Glove.
Mhm.
Um, and him running the bases is like bad. He can't extend hits to doubles. So he's
I
really
mean,
got,
and the Padres were. I mean, I'm sorry, and the Dodgers have also been winning without him.
yeah.
So it comes down to is your injury gonna be too much where it's gonna affect the team badly,
Mhm.
or is this going to be something that, like, you're able to leg out a double when we need it? Um, I think that's going to be the deciding factor if he's going to play or not.
And good.
No, I was going to say that I think that's why in the last series he was honest with Dave Roberts, let him know, I think I'm going to be hurting the team, not helping the team with the way my leg is at this point. So, I mean, the type of hitter he is, he could have also been selfish and just tried to fight it out and play with a bum leg. And I'm sure, the coach would have said, "Okay, go ahead, do it." You're Freddie Freeman. But he went ahead and spoke up and took himself out of the lineup, which I think also says a lot about Freddie as a person.
Yeah, definitely. Um, it's big that he's saying something because you and me both know as competitors, we always want to be out there, especially at this time of the year with the championship on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
So,
like I said, just it's hurting the team, and now this series, the Yankees outfield, they all have pretty good arms. So it's really going to be tough for him to leg out a double unless it's like really in the gap or a ground rule double. That's the only way that I see him getting to second base off of a hit. Um,
mhm.
and even scoring. I mean, he's like, if he gets on base, is he going to be able to score on a routine hit from second base? Like, that's tough too. Or even go from first to third on a situation where it's needed, right? That's pressure on the defense, right? But if as a defense, if you know that you'll be a little more relaxed.
Mhm.
What is one thing for the Dodgers that has gotten them to this point, do you think?
I think it's the ability to understand the situation in clutch timing with runners on base, runners in scoring position. They know how to deliver that punch to score those runs. No matter who it is, it seems like in the lineup, they're just getting the job done, 1 through 9. And it seems like they're punching opposite way a lot for the righties. Righties in between second and first base hole with the man on second or third base. I mean, it's just constant. They're like a well-oiled machine at this point.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's
Mm-hmm.
been kind of crazy. They've used Manny Machado uh, as fuel, like in that series after Game 3 when he was talking and Tatis was chirping the fans and stuff like that. They definitely used that as fuel, and I think for the NLCS, I believe that they were kind of looked at as underdogs from the media, just because of the run that the Mets have been on, and oh the pitching for the Dodgers, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. But
Mm-hmm.
I saw something today that they might be getting Buzador Gratterall back and Vesia. So that's going to help out their bullpen a lot.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. Especially because the Yankees kind of lack hitting lefty hit pitchers this year. So Vesia has been one of the guys to eat up a lot of the innings coming out of the
Mm-hmm.
bullpen. So that's going to be big for them if he can be a part of the plan for Dave Roberts.
I
Uh,
agree.
let's go to the Yankees. They went 94-68 in the regular season, number one seed in the American League. They missed the playoffs last year. They went out and got Soto, Alex Verdugo, Marcus Stroman, Mark Leiter Jr., Tim Hill, and Luke Weaver. And then they have been 7-2 in the playoffs so far. And man, Soto is on fire right now. He's batting 333 with 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. Stanton, 294, 5 home runs with 11 RBIs. Torres, 297 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs. Volpe has been an on base machine. It's not being talked about as much as it should be because of the stars that are hitting before him in the lineup. He's batting 310 with no home runs and 1 RBI. And Judge, he's batting 161 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. But that 161 is very deceiving because he's been having quality at bats, just hitting hard line drives to these players, and defensively they've been making diving plays on him throughout the entire playoffs, and it's kind of rough. But me as a Judge fan, I've seen him become a little better throughout this postseason, not chasing those curveballs out of the zone like he does have a tendency to at times. We got our first comment of the night, Joe Jordan. What's up, fellas? What's up, Joe? How we doing, man?
Joe, my man.
Yep. And he also says, "Good to see you, Joe Vaughn," with the 100 emoji. Man, that's an ugly hat he got on though, Joe.
It's a beauty.
um, the Yankees, man, they have ran over the competition
I
so
think
far.
you forgot one person, Teddy.
Who?
One person. It's
Who?
Jazz Chisholm.
Jazz Chisholm. I mean, yeah,
That was a
yeah,
huge trade for you guys.
yeah. That was huge. Yeah, definitely forgot about him when writing this up because I mean, I said it when he got traded. I made a reel on my Instagram that he was going to come in and change the environment in the clubhouse. The type of swag that he brings to the field is second to none. His energy, his flair, everything about the dude is just somebody you want as your teammate. Um, Definitely, and it's it it wears off on the rest of the team. And you got guys like Soto and Verdugo that also do the same. And they were already there. And for Jazz to come in and become a part of the culture and really not have to change himself at all. Like the first game, he was out there warming up with his hat on backwards, and he had that neon green belt. He wears his crazy designs as cleats. He's got the batting gloves. He's got everything like that. So that's honestly been huge. And man, I want to see him turn up this World Series for sure because
I agree.
he's been
But
saying he's been saying it this entire time that the Yankees and Yankees are going to win the World Series, and people called him crazy, right? They called him crazy when the Royals were up, and then he said, "Oh, I'm not nervous at all. We're the Yankees. We beat ourselves." And then they go over to Kansas City. They boo him in the introductions, and he's just smiling. He's like, nobody boos a nobody. You know what I mean? So they definitely give him that energy, and he gives it back to the team. And his base running ability has been great for the Yankees as well. That's something that we lacked because of our big hitters like Judge and Soto and Stanton. But Judge, he hasn't been thrown out in a while. Every time he steals, he is, I believe, 2 for 2 in the postseason. He doesn't steal at an alarming rate, but he steals when he gets the opportunity. As a base runner, you don't have to be. I mean, you gotta have some speed, right? But you also gotta be smart when to go, know the count and stuff like that. Because you can easily guess on an off-speed pitch, right? And even reading the pitchers, right? Their timing to the plate and stuff like that. And I mean, Stanton, he stole a base last series too. So, I mean, it clearly shows that you don't really have to be quick to steal a bag.
can I check in on that?
Yeah.
I think that Verdugo and Jazz brought such a different realm to this team.
Yep.
It made everybody else feel like they can be themselves. Um, I feel like that's something where, when you're wearing the pinstripes, you kind of feel like you're in the army,
Mm,
or, something like that.
yeah.
And I think once they got these guys with personalities, like Verdugo wearing multiple chains, you got Stroman, who he has some swagger too. And then you go ahead and you get Jazz Chisholm. I think that brings a different realm to the team, where it rubbed off on other guys. Everybody was able to be comfortable and be themselves,
Yep.
and didn't have to fit that mold to be 1,000% professional. It doesn't only have to be the fresh cut. You know, you don't always have to have the clean beard to show your personality. You can do it in other ways too. And I
Yeah.
think these guys bringing some style, bringing some swag to the team, definitely helped you guys level up this year.
Yeah, for sure. What up, Clutch? Um,
Clutch.
yeah, definitely. Those acquisitions. I absolutely loved them. As soon as they were made, I reacted and said the same thing. The flair, the energy. It was apparent during the first series of the season when the Yankees went up against the Astros, and Soto got that base hit off of Josh Hader, and he started yelling uh, to the bench and stuff like that. Like after he got the hit, it was a game deciding RBI, if I remember correctly. It was back in April, so if I'm wrong, just whatever.
I think it was he threw a guy out at home.
No, that was the first game. The second game is the one that he won it, I believe. Um, but yeah, that play as well. He looked over
Yeah,
the judge.
that play was crazy.
He looked over the judge. He pointed to his arm. His like this. That's the old thing that people be posting. And Judge looked at him back with a big old smile on his face and did the same thing. So, I mean, they have been one of the, I wouldn't even say one of the best offensive duo this season. Um,
I
Judge with
agree.
Judge with 58 home runs and 140 plus RBIs, and Soto having a career year with 38 home runs and over 100 RBIs, and while batting, I believe he batted 295 in the regular season. He was close to the 300 mark, and Judge hit 321. So there's not a duo that you can put up there that puts up those type of numbers. And if you're a pitcher and you see Juan Soto at the plate, what do you do as a pitcher? What do you do if you see Juan Soto with his
I
approach?
mean, right now, he's got to be the toughest out in baseball. I think he's proven that from the last series, with that huge home run off of was it Gaddis?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the best performances I've seen in playoffs. Um, Coming down to clutchness. I mean, he just soaked in the moment. He was just waiting for his pitch. He just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. That's what baseball is all about. And he took them yard, took you guys to the promised land. Um, I think if I was to face him, I mean, I just got to throw him bad pitches and hope he swings at a bad one and get himself out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that guy, he's just an absolute monster. He's seeing the ball like a beach ball at this point. Um, it's just the one thing too is he can also take the walk if he wants, and
Mm-hmm.
then you got to face Judge right behind him.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got those weapons there. I do think your 1 through 4 is extremely strong. It just worries me about the back end of your lineup. I did see like something on MLB Network. It just showed like the difference between the first 4 batters, average wise, and then how it kind of falls off towards the end.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see the middle to end of your lineup pick it up this series, and also do a little bit better with the base running.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, don't get me started on the base running. Just like John Sterling said, it appears that the Yankees are drunk on the mound on the base. Dude, it
that,
is
that was funny.
it's very frustrating. It's been like if you watch Yankee baseball, you know that's what they've been doing all year, and it's not just one guy. It's every single guy. Like it's really annoying, and it's always in big time situations where they're gaining momentum and the other team just gets it right back because of the base running blunder that they just did. Like it was first and third in game 4 against the Guardians, and Trevino was on first, and he had gotten picked off. Like, it was a bad pickoff. Like, he had no attempt to go back to first base, and like, I was just like sitting there, just like, oh my goodness. And you had Judge, I mean, not Judge, you had Jazz get picked off at second base. You had Rizzo getting picked off at second base. I mean, it's
You also
just,
had the one where it was the start of the game. Torres got a base hit, and then Soto ripped the ball into the gap, threw it to Jimenez. They threw it to Jimenez as the cutoff, and they threw Torres out at the plate.
yeah, that was to start.
No outs. You got a double with Soto. You should have been second and third. No outs with Judge
Yep.
coming up.
Yeah.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Yeah, not at all. That was to start the game. I remember that because I had Torres for a run in that game. So to see him get thrown out, it was heartbreaking, to say the least, on multiple occasions. All right, the time has come for us to predict who is going to win this series and how many games, and give me your World Series MVP. Jovan, start up.
All right. So I hope I'm not wrong because, as you know, I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, and I could never, ever, ever root for the Yankees. I'm going for the Dodgers in 6. And I think the MVP, I got to give it to my boy Mookie Betts.
Okay.
I was going to say Kike Hernandez. I did say that in the chat earlier in the week. I think he would be a sleeper pick. I think it's going to – I want to think it's going to be somebody that's you wouldn't expect it to be. Because, as you know, in the World Series, you would think you'd want to pitch around some of the superstar guys. They're probably not going to get the best pitches to hit. I want to say I got to just go with my boy Mookie Betts, though. He's just been on a tear, and I think that if he goes off, he's going to be the reason they win it.
Okay. And a quick question about Mookie Betts. How does it feel, well, in this World Series, how does it feel to watch the guy that you traded away and the guy that you got for him in the trade playing against each other in the World Series?
I mean, it doesn't feel good, I'll tell you that much. But I'm happy about where the organization's going at this point. Let's leave it at that. And, I'm just going to let that be water under the bridge. And let's just move on to the next topic. Yeah, I mean, of course it hurts to see him in Dodger blue, and then also Verdugo. I think Verdugo and Cora just weren't seeing eye to eye. I think that's what really caused that trade. And it didn't help that the guys that you sent us from New York to pitch didn't pitch that well last year for us either. So
exactly,
we were looking to build up our bullpen and get some pitching. But hey, it is what it is. Hopefully we get some big name guys this upcoming year.
Yep. And if you want to know who Jovan wants to get, tune into our off-season predictions for the free agents, because that's coming sooner or later. And now we get to the Yankees in 6.
Oh, okay.
Yankees in 6. They celebrate a World Series championship in LA. And this guy right here, Anthony Volpe.
Oh, you give me to the
kid.
To the young blood.
World Series MVP. I'm going with him because he has been one of the hottest hitters, and nobody's really talking about him. He sparks that middle half of that lineup, right? He's been batting in the 7th spot this postseason, and he's right after it goes Stanton, then Wells, or Jazz, and then Wells, and then Volpe. And I mean, he's just been doing his job, getting on base for Verdugo, been in the 9 spot, who has really had a good playoffs as well. He's been letting the ball get a little deeper in the zone and hitting it the other way. When earlier in the year, he was just rolling over to second base all day. Like it was at a point in time where I saw him come up with a runner on first base, and I just knew that he was going to hit into a inning-ending double play. And it turned out that he was allergic to batting gloves. So I'm glad they figured that out, and he has turned a new leaf. But yeah, man, I got both.
Verdugo's allergic to his tattoos as well, right?
Yeah, it was insane, like insane. But yeah, I got the hometown kid, man. He grew up a Yankee fan. In 2009, when the Yankees won, he was in the crowd celebrating the championship, and now he gets to play in his first World Series in his second year after a great rookie year, and I can't wait to see it. Can't wait.
It's going to be a great series. It's pound for pound the best 2 teams of this whole season.
Yep.
You couldn't really write it up any better way. I'm happy it's not like a small market team this year. It seemed like the way the playoffs were set up, a lot of the teams that weren't necessarily the best teams were making it through. So I'm happy that we get to see the best pound for pound team on both sides of the AL and NL, and it's going to be lots of fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
Even though I hate the Yankees, I love baseball, and it's going to be some good baseball for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, game 1 tomorrow. Yankees are underdogs tomorrow. If you got some money to spare, sprinkle it on them. Garrett Cole.
Couldn't do it.
You don't got to do it. But to the viewers out there, the people, Teddy wants to put some money in your pocket. Yankees money line.
You guys are going to go broke if you listen to that.
You got any final words before we head out?
Nah, man, just thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. It's always great to talk about baseball on this platform. Shout out to Refuse to Lose. Make sure you guys are subscribing and showing some love to the channel. And yeah, thanks, Teddy. Appreciate you having me on. And Red Sox 2025 World Series champs. Let's go.
Oh, jeez. Dave, you got to put him back in the doghouse, man. You got to put him right back in the doghouse for that one. Because...
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
All right. Make sure you tune in to Game 1 of the World Series. We will be live tomorrow after for a instant reaction of Game 1. So make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss that video when we go live tomorrow night here on BWT. Go Yankees. Let's bring it home. Let's go get one. It's been 15 years since we were even in one. 15 years since we won. Back in 2009, baby. You know, I got the patch. We need it. We need it. It's going to be great, man. Till next time, peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.